everyone, welcome back. And in this video, I'll be giving you some information on the three stages of a product company. So it's good to know what are these three stages that companies go through and what stage they are in. So it's a little bit of information which I'm happy to share with you. So let's get into it. So the three stages of product companies are: the first one is startup stage, the second one is the mid-sized stage, and the third one is the enterprise stage. So they are also called as startup companies, mid-sized companies, and enterprise companies based upon the stage that they are in. So let's get to see what these three are. So, startups, as we all know, these are companies that try to gain a market fit for their product. So, if you see startup companies, and keep in mind this entire growth or the stage of companies, I'm purely talking about product companies. So startup companies, they try to gain a market fit for their product. So mostly they tend to build a product and they want to take it out to the market. So their main objective and goal is that they need to fit this particular product into a market. They need to target a particular, either a market, target audience, a particular domain, stuff like that. So when they successfully have a product to market fit, and when they gain product adoption, that's a successful to them. So that's what these startup companies aim for. And generally these companies, as we all know, they are not very big companies. They comprise maybe of around 25 at the max members, or it can be more or less depending upon the capacity of the organization to handle employees and to cater to the employees and the resources demands and needs. The next point is startups, they aim to gain a market fit before they run out of money. So why a company is a startup? Because they have limited money and they want to venture out in building a product and shipping that to the market. So generally it's either the founders of that startup who invest their money, or it's either they tend to go and get investors and they kind of pitch their product to different people, and investors keep investing into the product. So unless you prove to the investors and to the other stakeholders that there is some growth in the product, only then investments keep coming in. Or sometimes they would just invest a particular lump sum amount of money, and within that particular amount and capital you need to kind of ship out your product. So startup companies, they tend to they aim to complete and finish that product while this money is still in their cash, in their cash decks. So it's very important that they kind of launch the product before they run out of money, else they'll be in a great soup and under great pressure. So generally startups, they are under more pressure when funding is less. So yes, that's a very valid scenario, because if you don't have enough of funding, generally startup companies, they have few employees, and with few employees the workload is kind of more. And when they have kind of deadlines, that is they need a demo for a particular investor or for a client, I have seen startup companies, employees in startup companies kind of doing overtime, and they kind of take more than what they're supposed to do, working on multiple tasks and stuff like that. So that's one thing that happens. And also many startup companies, they fail in this race, but the ones that succeed, they are good at product discovery. So I'll be taking a couple of videos in future of what product discovery is and why is it very important. But most of the companies, sometimes they feel that they want everything to be in their product, because they have this kind of level of insecurity as to there are kind of big competitors in the market and how our product is going to make it in the market. So they tend to incorporate all the competitors features also into their product without even knowing whether that's really what their customers need. So many companies put in so much of effort, time and money, and they build products, but in the end there's no adoption, people don't use the products, and it's a failure. So companies that actually succeed, they have a lot of product discovery going into their routines, where they understand the real needs of the users, and then they build products that are acceptable by the users. So they know how to discover and build the product that will be also accepted in the market. So that's a gist of startup companies and the startup stage. So they mainly, as I said, they mainly aim at market fit. So this is the stage where companies tend to aim at a market fit for the product. The second stage is mid-size companies, or the mid-size stage. So these successful startups, they are on the path to grow and scale their business. Okay, so when we say grow and scale businesses, it means that they increase their employee size, they have more services, they venture into new into other products, and they also have maybe again business units, stuff like that. They also have like around 25 to hundreds of employees. Again, it's more or less depending on what is the capacity of the organization to satisfy the needs of their employees and also cater to the resources. Also, it consists of many departments and autonomous teams. So when you say startup companies, if you have worked in a startup company, you would know most of them are kind of like flat organizations, less of hierarchy, and teams are also like very the self-forming teams. So as and when the need arises, the teams get formed. There's no predefined teams. Of course, there are some teams like the HR, finance team, and stuff. But when you look at the product team, it's very flexible. But when you look at mid-sized companies, they have much more levels of hierarchy, and they have reportings, and they have other units also. So these companies, they are, if you see what is their main intention and motive, is that they are in the race or to become a public offering company. Okay, a much larger company where there's a lot of public offerings, and people get to invest in their company, and there's things like that happening. And also they want to become a major, another intention of these companies is that they want to become a major business unit of an existing company. So they just want to grow and scale, and they want to come up to the next phase, which is the enterprise stage. So when you look at the enterprise stage, these companies are called as enterprise organizations. And these organizations, they succeed in growing and scaling. So every big enterprise, if you see, they have grown and scaled to tremendous extents. Okay, and they have to ensure, so once you have grown to that big extent, these companies need to ensure that products is consistent, and it also provides value to growing customer needs. Okay, so they have to keep their product well, because that was something that they created and built. And also further on, with change of technology, with advancing in technology and different concepts coming into picture, they also need to keep scaling to that, in that direction also, and they need to still keep providing value to their customers. It shouldn't be like the company goes to a peak and then it starts dropping down again. So it has to have a very consistent trajectory. And while managing these existing products, sometimes companies, they miss out on innovation. So if you look, as I said in my previous statement, companies, they have grown to a great scale, they have built their product, but there's a lot of technology, a lot of things that's coming up, AI and IoT and stuff like that. So if companies are not going to be on that track of innovation, then there's a chance that they could fail. Okay, there's a chance that there could be a downfall, because that's the future of technology. So sometimes companies do fail in that particular race. So another thing is, when you look at it, it's not all those big companies, they are bound to fail. There are companies such as Amazon, Facebook, and etc. that we all know. These companies still stay giant companies, but they really know how to sustain in the market, and they know how to stay in the race. So it's all about product discovery, how you stay in the race, and how do you cater to the needs of customers, rather than putting a lot of effort and then predicting that things would go well and it's best for users, and then nothing happens. So I hope you got some information on these three different stages of product companies. And if you like this video, please do give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe, and also do share your feedbacks. Thank you.